again. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Follow the Instagram. That's at A1SF_CEO, at A1SF_CEO. And turn on the notification bells and let's get this shit rocking. Today we're gonna talk about spirituality and what it means to me, and why I believe spirituality is the biggest thing that a person needs to move forward in life. In the previous video, I talked about handling L's, taking L's. If you have losses that come to you, how you handle those losses, you just take it as a grain of salt and keep on moving forward, not letting those losses affect you. And I think a big way of being able to keep pushing forward through losses is through a person's spirituality, whether it be what your religion is, what it is that you believe in, if it's God, if it's the universe, if it's nature, or even if you're an atheist and believe in, all the choices that you make, that's still a form of spirituality because you believe in yourself more than any outside entity. So, you gotta have something to believe in. You gotta have something that's motivating you to get up every morning. You gotta have something that's gonna push you when the times get tough, when it gets hard. Something that you can lean on to know, okay, this season of my life might be a tough one, but the sun will rise again, and I'll have my moments to keep on, growing and doing things. And the only way you can have that is through your spirituality and things that you hold tight to you. So just going into seasons, if you're a deep spiritual person, religious person, you should recognize that your life has seasons. You're gonna have up seasons, you're gonna have down. You got fruitful seasons and you got seasons where you don't bear fruit. And that's just life as a whole. I think what a lot of people get caught up in is thinking that it's always supposed to be a fruitful season for you. But sometimes it's not like that, man. Sometimes you're gonna have those seasons where you're trying to do everything. You're watering your tree, you planted the seed, and you don't see anything happening. But you might not see it happening, but just know it's working for the greater good, right? When you plant the seed, you gotta tend to it day in and day out. You gotta make sure it's getting the nutrients and everything, the sunlight, so that it could grow to its highest form and bear the fruit that you want it to bear. So you gotta make sure, no matter what, you're still doing your due diligence day in and day out to see things through. And I think that's what a lot of people fall short. We get to a point where you planted the seed and you watered it for about a month, 2 months, maybe even 3 months. You might even see it sprout, but you need that food, you need that fruit right now. So fuck it, I'm just gonna go to the store and buy some. I'm not gonna deal with this no more. And little did you know that you could have saved yourself a whole lot and others around you, because had you tended to that fruit, had you made sure you did what you were supposed to for the next 3 months or for the next 6 months or for the next year, however long it takes, that tree was gonna bear fruit that's not gonna only feed you, but feed the people that's around you. See, you go to the store, you're only gonna get what you need, right? Which is cool, but that's only gonna get what you need for that time period, and then you find yourself right back in the cycle, and that's how they get you keep coming back over and over and over and over again. So your spirituality has to be tough. It has to be strong and rooted into something that's bigger than yourself, right? So for me, I like to look at it like my family. I like to look at my friends. I like to look at my life and look at the things that surround me. And all that to me is God, right? He says, I am everything. All right, boss man, take it easy. I equate that to God. I equate my whole surrounding around me as God. I equate this gym to God. I equate the people who I come in contact with and have conversations with as being God, because He's everything. He's all around. He's here, or she's here, however you see it. And it's a message in everything that comes into your life. So me recognizing that, I understand when I'm in a season that's not bearing fruit, it's a message somewhere that I need to look to keep me grounded and keep me rooted, so that I can continue to tend to my tree. See, I sow my seed and I water my seed, and I'm gonna keep watering that motherfucker, and eventually I would have a tree that's gonna bear some fruit that's bigger than anybody could see. So That's the thing about spirituality, and then understanding those seasons. Sometimes your season isn't bearing fruit because sometimes you got a full tree and it's not bearing fruit, but you in fall season. I mean, everything is just falling in your life. Everything is hitting you, compounding you one after the other. The leaves is falling like whatever, but that's breeding for new energy. That's breeding for a new wave of something. And maybe you have to go sit down and do some self-reflective work. Maybe the soil that you're using or the water that you're using is contaminated. So let's go and let's try and make a change to see if this will happen. Or maybe you might have to sow a whole nother seed. Maybe you have to plant another seed, plant another tree. But those are things that you have to understand as far as what your spirituality is rooted in, because that's why I say everything around me is God, because I won't know. I'll just think, if I'm going off the basic knowledge that I have, I'll just think that, nah, man, this shit is through. Like, you know what I mean? I just gotta stick to this one thing. But your life can't be like that, man. The life is meant to be, expanded beyond measures. The Bible says, have dominion and multiply. So, I don't want to start thumping y'all with Bible verses, because myself personally, I'm not even a big person on religion so much. But I like to look at myself as being, rooted into those ideals and having a pathway for me to move in the right direction, whatever that direction might be for me. So, the season's gonna change. It's not always gonna be the same. You're not always gonna have the greatest moments, but the way you avert crashing out is being deeply rooted into something bigger than yourself. And using that spirituality that you have, that religion that you have to guide you through. It's a reason why a lot of times, when a person's going through a tough time in their life, they find themselves going back to the church, or they find themselves talking to, people who are rooted in the church. Even if you're not part of that, you might have family members that practice, a different form of spirituality, known as witchcraft or known as whatever. But that's still, in essence, something that's rooted deeper than yourself, because you need that entity to keep you pushing. Once you lose that, now you're sitting back hopeless, hopeless, and nobody wants to be hopeless, because the next step from hopeless is depression, and the next step from depression is getting yourself up out of here. And the last thing that you want to do is get yourself up out of here. And there's many ways you can do it. It's not just putting a gun to your head. It's not just jumping off a bridge. Man, you can go out here and live recklessly, saying, I don't give a fuck about jail, I don't give a fuck about this, I don't give a fuck about that, and then throw your whole life away. And now you once you get older, or once you get out of that bad season, you find yourself in a position where you're stuck, you're bound, because you made a decision that was detrimental. You just crashed out, and I don't want to see that for nobody. So season's gonna change, and knowing that season's gonna change, you have to know that everything happens for a reason. Now, I know certain instances it may not seem like shit don't make no sense. Trust me, I know I've had it happen, and there's a lot of coincidences out there. Like, life is providence stats. As soon as you step foot outside, you don't know if you're gonna live or die. I can drop dead after making this video. You never know that, right? But it's always a bigger purpose for why things happen, and a lot of times we see that in the latter, right? So we'll make a decision for our life right now that seemingly would be the right decision, and then as we get older, we look back and see, well, that probably wasn't the right decision to make, but you had to make that decision so that you can learn that it wasn't the right decision to make, right? So again, handling taking L's. Don't beat yourself up for making poor decisions. You ain't perfect. Nobody's perfect. We all human. Ain't nobody out here living the perfect life. No matter contrary to what you see, like, there's nobody out here living a perfect life. So why you beat yourself up for making poor decisions? At least you made a decision. There's people out here that don't make decisions and let other people make decisions for them, and they find themselves fucked up, and now they want to blame the whole world. But at least if you make a decision, nothing can take that away from you, because you're moving with the authentic heart of showing, okay, I'm trying to do something that would be beneficial. And it turned out not being beneficial, or I did something that I liked, that I felt was good. And it probably fucked up or screwed up a lot of things, but at that time frame, you had to make it. So Don't beat yourself up for those decisions that you make. Everything happens for a reason. It's all learning lessons. Where you fail to learn, when you don't learn, then that's when you stay in the same cycle. You go over the same thing over and over until eventually you will learn it. Or either that's the life that you live and that's what you choose to take. And that's cool too. If you choose to take that, if you choose to be in that type of life or whatever the case may be, that's your choice, but at least it's your choice. Nobody can take that from you. You didn't make it, but because somebody else made it for you. And then coincidences. When I've had incidences in my life of coincidences, that's just God. There's nothing else I can explain to it. And I go to a deep thing for me in my spirituality. Me personally, I was raised Episcopalian, which is kind of a branch off from the Catholic Church. We grew up in the church, used to go to Sunday service, used to go to the summer school. I've been confirmed. So, I got a little bit of knowledge on the church. Now, I'm not in my Bible like I should be, or like they say I should be, but, like I say, God is everywhere around me. So I don't necessarily need the Bible to tell me that, man. I can leave this gym today and have a conversation with a random person and they'll, tell me everything that I need to hear at that moment because I know it's God, right? Or whether it's right or wrong. As I said before, I got some good advice from homeless people. Now, I'm not suggesting that you get advice from homeless people, but, you never know, man. Like, you might, if you listen, if you paying attention, right? If you paying attention, you might see what not to do. You might see what moves not to make. Because a homeless person will probably tell you how it's supposed to be done, and you see where it led them to. So now I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna do something totally different. But you will only understand that if you take those conversations and heed to the message, heed to the warning. Or heed to the message, whatever. Not even warning, just heed to the message. That's just a level of spirituality that I have. I'm not saying that you should have it, but that's what's led me to the point that I'm at in my life, and keep me at ease with certain things that I do. I've had coincidences where I was working this job and a random person, I'm talking about a random gentleman, just came up to me. I was going through a tough time in life, like things wasn't working out my way financially. I was, messed up, and I was just trying to get an understanding on which way to go. Now, granted, I grew up with a single mother household, and I had my father in my life. And so this random guy, he came up to me and he started talking to me and he started speaking to me about things that I had been having in my dreams. And it's so crazy because you couldn't know this shit unless you was living my life. Like, there's no way you could know the things that he was saying unless you were me. Because I didn't talk to anybody about it. This was things that I felt. And he came up to me, he was like, man, listen, you need to talk to your father. And I was like, what? Talk to my father, nigga, what the fuck you talking about? But it's so crazy because at that time frame, I'm 24, 25 years old, and I'm trying to find direction in the world. I don't have anybody, structure in my life that could teach me how to get through adversity. And so I didn't even talk to him about the problems that I had. He just randomly came up to me and was like, hey man, you pray to the Lord about something and he answered your prayers. You need to speak to your father. And I was just taken back, like, damn, nigga, what you talking about? And he was like, man, listen, I know you feel like it's not your duty. I know you feel like, it's the father's duty to go out and speak to you, but you need to go talk to him. He got something for you. I just was like, what the fuck? I just took a step back. It was like, nigga, what are you talking about? What? And so he was like, yeah, man, you just need to go talk to your father. So, after having that conversation with him, I just, I went to my mom, like, you know what, let me get my dad's number. Let me try and hit him up. Let me try to make something happen, man. So I hit him up. I hit my dad up and tried to make something happen. And he never responded. He didn't hit me back up. And so I told my mom about it. A month had passed or whatever. My mom, she felt some type of way, so she hit my dad up saying, why your son's trying to contact you? Why you haven't, got in touch with him? Come to find out, he had prostate cancer, and he had been dealing with that. And so he was like, you know what, I'll once I'm finished with chemo, then I'll get in contact with him. It's just real stressful for him. Whatever, I ain't tripping over it. I ain't never been the type of person to have no hate. I ain't got no ill will. I don't know the man like that, so it's not like it's a, I hate that man ain't never been in my life. Nah, it's not like that. It's just more so you can't have feelings for somebody that you really just don't know. And so, time passed more. Didn't hear from him. I just figured it wasn't gonna happen, and I just kept moving with life. Until one day, I'm at that same spot. I'm at the job, and I happened to go up for my lunch break. It was upstairs. I used to work at a bank. I did security at a bank, and so I went upstairs, had my lunch. I came down. As I came down, and I went back out to my post, I saw this man walk out the bank with a pink shirt on, just, tall dude, and his face looked familiar. Now, granted, I had seen my father as a kid, as a child, like young ages. He'll come to the house and, talk with my mom, and we'll make high and by type stuff like that. So when I seen the dude, the face was familiar. I knew who it was, but he didn't say anything to me. He just walked right past me and walked down the stairs. And so he had walked down the stairs and then stopped and talked to a gentleman that comes to that branch, that bank that I worked at numerous times. He would come there so many times, to the point we used to have conversations, just talk shit and stuff like that. And the dude with the pink shirt, the gentleman with the pink shirt, he went down and started talking to the dude, and they had this big conversation. Mind you, I'm standing right here listening to him. And so he's telling him, he's like, man, listen, I don't know why I came to this branch, man. I usually don't come to this bank. This isn't my normal bank. This isn't my usual bank that I come to. Whole time I'm sitting there thinking in my head, yeah, my nigga, because you need to see me, nigga. Your son's standing right fucking here. Like, for real. Like, what the hell you mean you gonna come to this branch? And that's God. That's a coincidence that I can't fathom. Like, my dad even said it himself at the time, before he knew I was standing there. He was talking to the dude and was saying, yeah, man, God for some reason just told me to come to this branch, man. God stopped me to come here. And so before he walked away, I had stopped him, like, sir, can I talk to you for a second? And he was like, yeah, sure, what's good? What's up, man? I was like, what's your name, sir? You don't mind me asking, what's your name? He was like, Michael. I was like, Michael what? He was like, Michael Adams. I was like, Michael Adams, do you know who this is you're talking to right now? And then he just barreled his head and was like, oh my God, it's my son. Like, he automatically knew. Once I told him, you know who you're talking to, he knew it was me. I was like, yeah, man, like, I've been trying to contact you, bro. Like, what's going on? And he just was, oh, I'm so sorry, man. I'm just dealing with a lot, man. I'm just trying to survive, man. Like, dealing with this cancer and this chemo. He in his 60s. He's like, at this point in my life, I'm just trying to survive. And I understood that, because this life will beat your ass up for a man, I don't know the nature of him and my mom's relationship. I choose to stay in the child's place. The nature of their relationship was their relationship. They all make choices that they gotta do, whether right or wrong. It's just, that's life how it is. And so, yeah, that's how I met my father. When I was 25 years old, I didn't meet him for the first time. I had already seen him before, but it had been probably, about 10 years since I had seen him since, Probably longer than that, honestly. I can't remember the last time, before that time, that I had seen him. And so, it was just a crazy coincidence. And that's God, man. That's God. And it's so crazy because at that time frame, turning 25, my spirituality was tested drastically, man. I was going through situations with women. I was going through situations with the job. I was going through situations in life. And I needed, something to keep me rooted in and to understand who I was as a man, because I didn't know who I was as a man. I just was out here thinking that a man's supposed to be this one thing, but the deep reality of it is you need your father. As a man, you need your father, to know who you are. Not even so much about the guidance, but just knowing who you are, knowing why you make certain choices that you make, why you think the way that you think, why you say some of the things that you say, man. Like, you need your father for that. Fuck what these single baby mamas be saying about, another man can do it. No, that's not true. You need your biological father. I don't care what nobody say. You need somebody. You need the person that you came from. That you came from. Don't let these single moms that was raised by stepfathers tell you that, or no, it's not the truth. You need your biological father. Fuck whatever you say. Now, if he chooses not to be there, then, if he chooses not to look out, then at least you see going back to what I said about the homeless thing, things not to do. At least now you can see what not to be, so that you can change the generational curse in your life. But you need that, you know. The stepfather ain't gonna do it. You need your birthright. This is for yourself as a man to understand who you are, and daughters too, man. Y'all need that too, to know, you know, where y'all come from, and that's the reality of this thing. And so, you know, eventually time had passed. He ended up coming through to my job, and he picked me up and he dropped me off home, and we had a long conversation, man. We just talked about everything. I talked about him and my mom's relationship, why things ain't happening the way you know, why they couldn't get together. And he just explained certain things to me that now as I'm older, looking back as a kid, was naive to it, but now that I'm older, I see like, yeah, man, shit's stressful. Shit's stressful, like, the black community relationships is not easy at all. Them shits is not easy, and it's because of the fucking music, it's because of the fucking the white supremacy, whatever you want to call it, man. It's just not easy, man. So, you know, we had a long conversation. It's what I needed to hear for the situations that I was going through. And there's nothing else I can blame that I can put that to better than to put it to God, man. I like to meditate a lot. And so throughout those time frames when I was meditating heavy, man, just trying to get a better understanding, and God made a way to where, you know, he forced my father to have to see me, whether if it was for me or it was for him. Like, maybe even him running into me wasn't meant so much for me. Maybe it was meant so much for him. Maybe he needed to see, like, listen, man, your son here is a hardworking man, a handsome young fucking man, you know? He ain't out here no degenerate doing no crazy ass, dumb ass shit. He out here really living. Like, nigga, you supposed to be here in his life. You know what I mean? Like, but that's out of my control. I got what I needed to get from it, and I keep moving. And it just, more situations like that would happen, man. I had it, like I said, I would meditate a lot, and a lot of the times where I was going through situations, I was working in the strip club, working in the nightclub, just living life, you know, how I wanted to live. And it got to a point where it became pretty redundant. Like, why am I in this motherfucker? These hoes don't give a fuck. They sitting there tipping a little whatever. You know what I mean? I'm doing security. Rather, let me just clarify that. I'm doing security in the nightclub. I'm not dancing. I ain't doing none of that dumbass shit. I'm doing security in the club. And if you've done security in the strip club, you know you get paid tips off of the dancers, just helping them picking their money up. If you know, you know. So we would get tipped, but then these women rather would be so disrespectful to you and just shun you and, like, you know, just treat you like garbage, bro. And it's like, I'm sitting at a certain point, like, why am I even finding myself in this situation? And something I kept seeing was the number 3. I kept seeing the number 3 over and over and over again. And so I did my research on it, you know, and understood that number 3 meant for me to change who I was and become something better, to grow into being something deeply spiritual. And so, you know, these are things I didn't tell nobody. This is all stuff that I just keep to myself. And so another time I'm at my job at that bank, another random man came walking up to me, man, and he just was looking at me. He was like, oh my God. He's like, yeah, man. And then started speaking in tongues, just speaking in tongues. You know, I'm just looking like, bro, what's going on? You okay? And then he stopped and he looked at me dead in my eyes. He was like, yo, man, I see big things for you. I'm seeing the number 3 in your life. I'm seeing the number 3. And I just was like, yo, what the fuck? I'm just like, yo, nigga, get away from me, bro. This shit is crazy. Get away from me. Like, no. No. Like, what's going on? Because I didn't tell anybody about this. This is all things that just I kept to myself and was battling towards myself. And he was like, yeah, man, I see the number 3. I see big things happening for you, man. You stay rooted and keep grinding, and you'll be all right. Now, he was a pastor down here in Miami, come to find out. And, you know, it was just crazy, that experience, bro. Like, crazy, man. Even to the point of me working at that location, at that branch that I was working at, there was a manager there. Andrew, what's up, Andrew? Shouts out to you. We used to have deep conversations, and he ended up becoming for me, a mentor pretty much. Like, he helped me with business, getting my business incorporated, getting a bank account set up, learning more about things like that. I used to go over to his house. I used to cut his yards, because this is at the time I'm just trying to do whatever to get money, man. I'm broke. Like, I'm cutting yards. I'm holding sessions. I'm working a job. I'm helping niggas move. I'm doing everything. Like, I'm spreading myself all across the board because I'm trying to win. And so, again, certain things I just was like, at that time frame, I used to go to I went to this Damon John meeting because I wanted to learn about business, and a person that told me, like, yeah, you need a mentor, somebody that could teach you. And so when I got to the bank, it's like essentially what I got. I got a mentor, somebody who could help me understand more about business. And again, I just credit all that to my spirituality, man, and staying down until I come up, staying humble, and keep on staying focused and rooted into something that's bigger than myself. Because ultimately, the movements that I make it with a genuine heart. I make it with a genuine spirit. I want to make sure things are working out for me and my family and for future generations. Like, I'm not out here just trying to do something to hurt people. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, go to bigger things. So, when you move like that, you get, the rewards from it. It bears the fruit. You just got to sow the seed, go through your problems, man, and it bears the fruit. So I say to all my spiritual warriors that might be going through things at this moment, listen, it's a test. Just, stick through it and see it through. Listen, you may have had it all, and it may have all been taken away from you, right? You may have had it all taken away from you. And it feel bad, and you might be questioning yourself, well, maybe it was my pride, or maybe I wasn't humble enough, or maybe I just need to. And in certain instances, people may need to humble themselves. But listen, bro, don't listen to nobody telling you put your pride to the side. Don't listen to nobody telling you to humble yourself. If you deep in your spirituality and you know that the things that you're doing and you're moving authentically, your season's gonna bear fruit. It's gonna bear fruit. A person that's telling you put your pride to the side or stay humble, they trying to run a game on you, because they trying to keep you in a position that they feel that they higher than you. So, if you know you a good person, a good spirited, a good hearted person, and you move like that, then you have nothing to worry about. Your season will definitely bear fruit. Just remember, it's all about what you can go through. Remember, you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's all about what you can handle. And as the saying goes, God gives his strongest battles or his hardest battles to his strongest warriors. And I believe that to be true, man. Like, when you embark on that journey of being a deeply spiritual person and moving in spirituality and being an understanding soul and being an authentic person, you're going to get hit left and right, because out here it's just nothing but distractions and things that's meant to take you away from that. But just stay strong to who you are, and stay, grounded and rooted into that deeper thing, whether it be God, whether it be the universe, right? Whether it be, and it could be all of that, right? Because God is everything. Like I said, God is everything. This seat that I'm sitting on right now, He the clothes that I got on, like, the signs that we see walking down the street, driving our cars, like, it's called a sign. Like, whether it's an actual physical sign, but for real, it's a sign. You know what I mean? A sign is meant for something, to tell you something. It's a message, right? So, look at that and pay attention. Pay attention, you feel me? Just pay attention, and everything will work out for you. You'll be all right, even to the point of watching this video, man. Maybe it'll help you out to just make it through the day. Take it day by day. Take it hour by hour, second by second, week by week, month by month, year by year, and your life will grow exponentially. I could say this, through my spirituality and the things that I believe in, I have been able to do all the things that I set my mind to. There is nothing that I haven't planned out, whether it be in business or whatever, that I have not accomplished. Now, it might not have been on the biggest of scales, but that's just a process. That's all that is a process of scaling it. But to know that I could create something from just a thought and have it come into fruition and actually see it through, that's priceless, man. And that's thanks to the things that I'm rooted in. I don't allow outside entities to take my mind away from the stuff that I believe in. So that's just a little bit on what I got to say about spirituality, man. We can get deeper than this. Trust, this shit can get much deeper than this. I'm gonna leave it at the cusp of just the meditation. Try the meditation. Look into guided meditation. Come here on YouTube and just type in guided meditation. It's a page that I follow called The Reach Approach that has different guided meditation videos where they actually guide you into what to think while you're going through meditation. And it's different breathing techniques that you could use to help you to center yourself. And it's also things that I sell within my fitness program. I got my ebook where I sell a 3-book a bundle pretty much of fitness, nutrition, and mentality. And in the mentality ebook, we talk about meditation and how how you're supposed to meditate, the things you should think about, the way you should breathe. All that is in my fitness bundle. If you choose to go ahead and grab that, you can hit the link down below in the description box. And you can grab it. Man, it's so many things, there's so many outlets to keep yourself rooted and grounded. All you got to do is sow that seed. So don't be afraid, go ahead and do that. And let's get you started right so that you don't crash out here, because I know you're close to it. I can sense it, I can feel it. Listen, I'm right there with you. Like, this shit tough out here. It's a fucking struggle sometimes. But hey, what you gonna do? As long as you got breath in your body, you got another opportunity to make the most out of something, man. The power lies within and without. So go ahead and use it, man. Understand it. Like I said, we can get deeper into this spirituality, but for that, y'all won't have to get a consultation so that we can really dive deep and see exactly what may work for your life and stuff like that. But other than that, we in the gym. We just knocked out another upper body. I did pull-ups and I did triceps today. Did some abs and I did cardio. Tomorrow we here with legs. We got big legs. We're gonna knock that out every single day we in this motherfucker. You don't gotta be in here every day, but I'm in this motherfucker every day. So if you're trying to get this work, y'all hit the link down below and get started with your online training, or we can get a consultation with you right now and we can get this shit started today. And as I always say, let's get this work. Check it out. One thing I forgot to mention and speak on also is the dangers of spirituality, because listen, it's the yin and the yang to everything. And this thing could be, it get deep, man. Spirituality can get very deep to the point where you find yourself paranoid out here, looking crazy. Like how I said, I believe God is everything, right? The fact of me telling y'all this is kind of going above ground of who I am, because normally I would just keep this to myself. Because when you start talking like this, society will look at you crazy, man. They'll start looking at you like, yo, this nigga is just, rambling or just, so when it comes to, you becoming a deep spiritual person, man, listen, it's not meant for everybody. Like, I know there's people out there that get deep into it and they think that their purpose is to go out and spread the message to everybody, man. Some people ain't trying to hear that because you don't know what season they in. So relax. God and everything. You ain't God. It ain't me, right? God don't revolve around me. So I can't sit here and just think that the things that I'm saying is true and correct, man. What's true and correct for me ain't true and correct for the next person. So with that understanding, you can know how to maneuver around the world. Don't get too extreme with this thing, man. Don't start, becoming a spiritual person and your whole life is just about live life, right? Life is meant to be lived and have fun and experience, right? So go out and do fun things. Just because you might think it doesn't align with what your spirituality or what your religion may say doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do it. Like, we still got choice ultimately. Just going back, you still got the choice and you'll learn your lessons, live your life, enjoy it, man. Don't beat yourself up for the thought of, damn, I'm letting my spirituality down, I'm letting my religion down. Like, nah, man, you only get one of these motherfuckers in it. And I always say this, man, God know me. He created me. He know how I am. If I fall short, if I do things that's outside of the will of what religion or spirituality says, then that's just, he understand. Hey God, just forgive me, man. Just forgive me. Now I ain't gonna sit here and be like, if I kill somebody or if I rape somebody, then yeah, just forgive me, God. I'll ask for forgiveness, but that's not something I'm gonna do, because that's another extreme outside of certain things that you should be doing. So that's just some of the dangers when it comes to the spirituality. Don't let your spirituality get you to the point where you feel like you can't hang with your friends now because they might be on a secular level or they might not be on the mindset. Like, bro, that's what it is, man. You need relationships, you need people. Like, I understand this is how my spirituality is. I'm not gonna put it on my homeboys or my girl and stuff like that. And now they just, I'm walking away from them because, I think that the way that they think or the way that they do things isn't right. Like I said, it's not me. I'm not God. God gonna get to them in their own way if that's how it's supposed to be. And then remember, God bless bad people too. Like, even bad people, evil people, they still get blessed too. It's not only you. So just do what's right. Like I say, move authentic in who you are. That's the main thing about it. Moving authentic in who you are and moving according to that. And just being understanding. So what I would suggest, if you start to get into a spiritual path and start seeing things and hearing things, man, keep it to yourself. Don't go out telling a whole bunch of people. If you in the moment and you're talking to somebody and you feel that spirit or you feel that energy is telling you this person might can heed from what I'm telling them, then go ahead and do it. But don't just go out and offer it, bro. It's nobody's business. That's the relationship that you got in your spirituality, nobody else's, right? So again, let's get this work.